Lord, we thank you.
You're sacrificing the mothers for the children.
Your backwards views have got to go.
On the steps of the nation's highest court,
Roe v. Wade has got to go.
the nation's most divisive issue laid bare. After the bombshell leak of a draft opinion showing that 5 conservative Supreme Court justices appear poised to strike down Roe v. Wade, the nearly 50-year-old landmark decision that protected a woman's right to access abortion.
There have been leaks before about negotiations, about vote changes, about the outcome in a case, but there has never in history been the leak of a full draft opinion, let alone in one of the most important cases in a generation.
The draft opinion, while not final and not meant to be released to the public, raises the stakes on both sides of the abortion debate. If Roe is overturned, 26 states are certain or likely to ban or severely restrict access to abortion.
26 states, that's almost 36 million reproductive capable people who are going to be losing access to abortion care in the coming days, months, or years.
This is actually the very beginning of our battle to make abortion unthinkable and unavailable.
On Capitol Hill, Democratic lawmakers furious.
This is what the Republicans have been working toward this day for decades.
2 key Republican senators who support abortion rights, Susan Collins of Maine and Alaska's Lisa Murkowski, also upset.
If it goes in the direction that this leaked copy has indicated, it rocks my confidence in the court right now.
Other Republicans angered by the leak, but in support of the potential decision.
I thought Roe v. Wade was a constitutional overstep, so we'll be back into the business that we were before 1973. Allowing each state to decide what to do. President Biden reacting with alarm, calling it radical if Roe v. Wade is overturned and warning it won't stop there.
If it becomes a law and if what is written is what remains, it goes far beyond the concern of whether or not there is the right to choose.
In a statement, Chief Justice John Roberts confirmed authenticity of the draft, calling it a betrayal of the confidence of the court, and ordered the marshal of the court to investigate. The leaked document, dated February 10th, is labeled the first draft of an opinion of the court. By Justice Samuel Alito, the 67-page draft ruling is clear, sharp, and scornful, declaring in its opening paragraphs that Roe v. Wade must be overruled, and that the 1973 ruling was egregiously wrong from the start. And Alito dismisses the argument in Roe that the right to choose abortion is part of the constitutional guarantee of liberty and privacy.
I would characterize the language as extremely strident. It's not an opinion that seeks to find common ground or to compromise. Much of the tone of the opinion seems very clearly to suggest the kind of fundamental illegitimacy of a position that supports a constitutional right to abortion.
The case at the heart of all this, Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health, which asked the court to overturn Roe and uphold a Mississippi ban on most abortions after 15 weeks.
This is the last remaining abortion clinic in the whole state.
It is the only one.
We have been trying so hard, and have come close a couple of times to getting it shut down.
Your baby is not a mistake. Your baby's a gift from God.
Last fall, we saw women from across the South seeking out care.
Right this way.
One patient telling us no woman wants an abortion, but that having the choice is critical.
I do have other children, but I've also lost a child. And so having a child pass away of health issues, you don't want to bring it. You're scared. And it's just not something that my husband and I are ready for. We're just not ready yet.
Public opinion polls have consistently shown that the majority of Americans support upholding Roe v. Wade. In a new ABC News Washington Post poll, 7 in 10 people say the decision should be left to the woman and her doctor.
The only thing surprising to me about the leaked Supreme Court decision was the timing. We saw this coming, and we have been preparing for this moment.
Dr. Colleen McNicholas is an abortion provider in the Midwest. She lives and works in Missouri, a state she says already feels like living in the post-Roe world.
Missouri currently has 1 remaining freestanding abortion clinic, and the truth is that Missourians have been fleeing the state for the last year or so and getting that care outside of the state.
Missouri has what's called a trigger law that if Roe is overturned, will immediately ban abortion across the state.
The folks who are going to be disproportionately affected the most are going to be people who are the most marginalized already. It's going to be folks in rural communities. It's going to be Black and brown folks, people who are unhoused, undocumented, people who have financial insecurity.
The lengths Dr. McNicholas takes to get through her day-to-day duties chronicled in the 2018 documentary Reversing Roe.
In America, 1 in 4 women will have an abortion in their life. So to me, abortion is just basic health care.
We're going to remove the pregnancy, okay?
Since Roe versus Wade was decided, there's been a concerted legal effort to reverse it.
I think that overturning Roe versus Wade has been at the top of the list of the conservative legal movement and many, many generations of lawyers who have come up in that movement, for at least 4 decades. So none of this is surprising given that history, and yet it is a seismic shift in our constitutional system and our constitutional protections.
If this leak is correct, and if the court does in fact move to reverse Roe versus Wade, this is not simply a notch on like a political victory belt. This is lives at stake.
Kristen Hawkins is the president of Students for Life of America. We first met her at the 2015 March for Life.
We are the pro-life generation!
For the past 16 years, her group has advocated to abolish abortion completely.
Now is time to get to work, to activate this army, this nearly 1,300 Students for Life groups that we support and train across the United States.
She says even if Roe versus Wade is overturned, her mission will continue, working with state legislatures state by state, like in Oklahoma, where just today the governor signed a 6-week abortion ban into law, modeled off the controversial Texas bill SB 8 from last summer.
If Roe does in fact fall, we have a number of states where we know we'll have immediate battles to make abortion unavailable, and then we're going to have other states which are going to be longer term objectives where we'll be engaging in primaries, we'll be engaging in general races to elect the leaders that will uphold the will of the people.
So you can just have a seat right here.
I was like, I'm pregnant, I'm trying to get an abortion.
For thousands in Texas, like Maddie, a college student, SB 8 was devastating.
Drowning. That's the best word to describe it, is drowning.
Last year, we followed Maddie across state lines to Mississippi.
Now it's a waiting game.
To that very clinic now at the center of the Supreme Court case.
Do you feel secure in your decision?
Yeah. My decision hasn't wavered. It's my body and it's my choice. There were so many unneeded obstacles that I managed to get over, but many women won't.
Today, fears over losing the right to choose abortion growing deeper.
After reading it, I parked my car because I was very upset, and I just cried. I didn't want anyone else to have to go through the struggles that I had to go through to get the health care that I deserve.
As the Supreme Court continues to debate the future of Roe, and as an anxious nation awaits their final decision.
If Roe v. Wade does get overturned in the next couple months, there are going to be so many marches and rallies to bring support to women that have feared this for so long, and I will be there.
I would say absent something truly extraordinary and unexpected happening inside the court, some version of this opinion will be issued as the opinion of the court in a matter of weeks. That will be the law of the land, and Roe versus Wade will be no more.
Our thanks to Devin. We turn now to ABC's senior national correspondent, Terry Moran, who's been following this story since it broke late last night. Terry, it's worth saying again, the law has not yet changed. This is just a draft opinion. But what happens now? Is the final opinion likely to be any different?
It could be. It could well be, Byron. It is rare, but it happens that justices can switch votes, even in big cases, even at the 11th hour. And certainly, this was a draft opinion from February, meaning it was probably an opening bid by Justice Alito, a kind of maximal statement of where he thinks the law should go. And in the course of Supreme Court work, that could be watered down, that could be changed. But at the end of the day, it looks like the writing is on the wall for Roe versus Wade. Anyone who heard the oral arguments in this case back in December knows that those justices, conservative justices, were asking questions not about whether Roe versus Wade should be overturned, but about how they would do it. And what they're doing now is trying to see how they want to do it.
And Terry, certainly what we saw outside the court today, where you spent the bulk of this day, the people there seem to think this is a done deal.
No question about it, Byron. It was a shock. And tonight, there was anguish like I have never heard in a crowd in front of the Supreme Court. Rage, but also pain. They know this is the end of Roe within sight, whatever happens in this opinion. And the way it came and the way it's written, scornfully, triumphantly saying, that this was never a constitutional right to begin with. I think it has energized people on that side of this issue in anger and in pain, and you could hear it out there.
Chief Justice John Roberts confirmed the leak and ordered an investigation. Could this damage the institution of the Supreme Court?
No question about it, Byron. This is a crisis for the Supreme Court. It was, for a lot of Americans, really one of the last places that seemed relatively normal. Sure, they disagree, they go back and forth, but it operated according to those old traditions and norms in a way that when the opinions were handed down, people would argue about it but accept them. Now it looks this is a dastardly inside attack by one side or the other that has never been done before, like a knife in the back, because these draft opinions, it's the way the justices together kind of experiment, kind of explore what they can agree on, what they can't, about what the law should be. And if they do that looking over their shoulder at how it might leak, that poisons the well of those deliberations, which are at the heart of the Supreme Court's work. And so I think the credibility of the court really has been harmed. And you can tell that Chief Justice John Roberts believes so as well. He's irate.
Contentious days to come. Terry Moran, thank you so much, my friend.
Thanks, Byron.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.